Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Changing Voices Show. I am your host, Toye Wariboko. The Changing Voices Show was created to give entrepreneurs, particularly small business owners, a resource for news, in-depth interviews of personalities and profiles of those who have made it through the startup process and are now enjoying success. Welcome, guys. Our guest on the show today is a quintessential, dynamic, multifaceted gentleman. He is a jeweler, a goldsmith, a poet, and a fitness enthusiast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome on set today, Mr. Boma Cottrell. Mr. Boma, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you very much.
Welcome on set.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on your program, Mr. Wariboko.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you very well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nigeria, and everyone involved in viewing us on this platform.
Thank you. You are someone whom we've been trying to get to meet for a while now. And thank God your doors are open. We're here to meet with you at your lovely place.
Thank you.
How did you get into this business? Tell us a bit about you, first of all.
All right. As being introduced, my name is Boma Cottrell, and I'm from Kalabari, River State. I'm about 47 years of age, married with 4 kids, a wonderful wife, and 4 lovely sons. And I've been in this business for as much as 25 years. And I registered this company as a limited liability company in the year 2020. But I've been a practitioner in the Jewelry Act for upward of 20 years plus. Actually, my mother is my motivator in this industry because she was actually dealing on our traditional jewelries while I was a boy. After my secondary school days, I became a manager at a fabric shop, and I started going to the market with her, going to the Goldsmiths workshop with her, and while growing up, she told me she would like one of her sons to be a goldsmith. I said, Mommy, leave all those things. I'm not interested. Leave all those talk, And I did some things with her for a while then, got a job with the Agricultural Development Program in 1993. In the course of my occupation as a clerk in the, one of my sister's husband said he wanted to do some jewelries for his chieftaincy installation, and he heard that my mother used to do those stuffs. So I was engaged in the contract of trying to make that arrangement for him. And when I did, I saw that there was a little bit of a markup for me to live on. So as I went to my mom, Mommy, please come, can you help me understand this trade and what's involved in it? She said, I told you that I wanted someone to do this thing. I said, okay. She just showed me the basics, and from there, I started trading on the product. I'll meet a goldsmith, they work for me, I'll go and sell and all that. But at the point in time, I got to the stage where I discovered that there were so much ideas in my head, and the goldsmiths were not really giving me what I want. So in 1996, I resigned my appointment as a clerk, and went to the goldsmith and said, look, I want to learn this trade. They said, you don't see money, you go learn this trade. I said, please give me a try. And that's how I started. I was so passionate about it. I was so charismatic. Even I used my money to buy materials for us to work with in the workshop, and all that. So from there, I started moving. And in the year 2000 or 1999, thereabout, I got my freedom and started my operation as a goldsmith. And since then, it's just been every step of the way.
All right, Mr. Boma. It was a very lovely introduction you gave and all that, and how you got into the business. But let me ask you one fundamental question, which a lot of people tend to shy away from. Did you entertain any fears in trying to start out this business?
A wise man told me that face your fear, and your fear will run away.
Beautiful.
Fear has never been a deterrent towards the pursuit of my vision. I'm a passionate person. I do every action or every activity with passion. So when I developed the interest of going into this business, I went into it with passion. I make mistakes, I learn from them. I'm actually a hands-on person. Even from my secondary school days, I used to repair my co-students' sandals and these things to make some money for myself for my lunch break. So after my secondary school and a little bit with my mom, I started selling slip-on shoes back in the 90s. These are upholstery shoes that were raining.
Yeah.
And I did it for a while, then went into the act of making it myself, and I did that for like a year or two, made some money, and also was able to pay for my lesson fee while I was attending student aids back in those days.
Wow.
Wrote my GC, made my papers and all that. So fear was not really a factor in me. It's there, but I face my fears, and by the grace of God, I always overcome them. So that's how I was able to get along.
That's pretty lovely. And then it leads us to another fundamental question. You not only started from trading jewelries, you picked an interest in learning the art of making jewelries. Yeah. What is the singular skill that is very important to you that you learned in jewelry making?
Well, one of the greatest skills, I would say, is the ability to be patient. The jewelry trade is a very time-consuming trade, and it requires ultimate patience. You could sit down in a position for 5 hours.
Wow.
You could engage in a particular activity for 7 hours. Making a set of studs, for instance, can take you 2 days, 3 days of straight work. You understand what I'm saying? And we don't work with machines. We work from the crude craft method. So everything is done by hand. Every part of the craft is done by hand. So it's not something as if you have some imported machines that will be able to make labor-saving devices. No, it wasn't there.
Wow.
It was the crude method. But because I loved what I was doing, I was patient, I was focused, I was creative, I was innovative. I wasn't satisfied with the old ways of doing things.
Yeah.
I always wanted something better. For instance, in our packaging of our products, while learning the trade, what they usually used to give the customers their product at the end of the day was a writing pad. These colored writing pad. They would just wrap it in it and give the customer. For me, I wasn't really comfortable with that. For me, it was like having a beautiful lady dressed in rag. You understand? I wasn't really. I started finding innovations on how to present the finished product in a more humane and
better presentable
way. I tried so many factors, rubber plates, plastic mat sets, so many, just to make sure that I have something that is presentable. And from there to now, I've been able to improve in my packaging that you can send my product to any part of the world.
Wow.
To any part of the world. So that's what my vision was. My vision was to take the industry from the crude domestic level to a world-class level where it could. I'm not intending to compete with Italians. I'm not intending to compete with the Arabs. I'm intending to present African jewelry.
Yes, and it's a very important. I've looked at some of your designs, and they tend to want to represent the African culture. The rich African culture. What inspired that?
See, Africa is a rich environment for creativity. All around you, you see natural things that you could create something out of. For instance, we have the periwinkle design. And it's coined from our periwinkle.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
Wow, amazing.
We have the top hat design. The top hat design, our chiefs wear top hats.
Yes.
That was also a kind of a cultural, something that was taken from the Europeans, quite all right.
Yes,
But we also created jewelry to match that. We have the crown design and for nobilities and royalties. And most of my innovations, I try to look at my environment. I try to picture in my mind what will be aesthetic, and so far it has been well.
Wow. How do you source your raw materials?
Uh,
Because that's one challenge that we have, especially if they are coming from the overseas, the dollar rate, and but how do you source them?
that's a big challenge now, a serious challenge for us, because we are competing with the international market. Most of the raw materials we have, you actually have gold and silver in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yeah, through the Middle Belt areas, Taraba,
Yes.
Zamfara, and all those areas. But we find that they are being taken out of the country. You know, they are taken to Dubai, they are taken to India, and the rest. So you find out most times when you need materials to work with, the suppliers are already preparing to take them out.
Wow.
So you have to bring up with a favorable pricing system that will enable them to sell to you. So those are sometimes you have money in your hand, but you don't have materials to work with. And you know, sometimes your clients don't understand these dynamics that you're facing. You can make a promise that, okay, I'll deliver your job in 2-3 weeks time. But in that 2-3 weeks that you're promising, a week and a half is supposed to be used to do the job. But you're finding yourself that you're using like 2 weeks to source for materials.
Wow.
So if you are not careful, you start disappointing your customers, and it's not really very good for business.
Disappointing customers is something that is not very good in business. But you see, it appears that even the Nigerian system, I call it a broken system, it's not helping. And it is commendable that in spite of these challenges, people like you are trying to forge a living, make a name, and then push the Nigerian brand. What class of persons are you trying to service or satisfy? What's your market? Are you cut out for everybody or for a niche?
In business, you can't satisfy all the market.
That is very true.
You have to find your target market.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? I don't do cheap products.
Oh, okay.
I make affordable products.
Okay.
You know, so when some of my customers ask me, what is the least price in your, or what is the cheapest price in your product? I told them I don't make cheap products, that I make affordable products. I make products that can withstand its test of time. I make products that are beautiful and have a high quality. I pay more attention to my finishing, because for me, that's where the whole thing is.
Lies.
You know, the beauty of a job is in its finishing.
Finishing, yes.
You know, so I try to make sure that I concentrate in the aspect of finishing, giving it that fine touch, even with the limited equipment that we have. I can tell you 80% of what we do is handmade.
Wow.
80%. We only have a few machines that we use, you know, but unfortunately, we do not have a society that really appreciates creativity. If you are
Quite
abroad,
sad. Quite sad.
if you are abroad, handmade products are highly expensive than machine products.
That's very true.
You understand? But yeah, we do not pay premium for such services. You know, but we'll keep doing our best.
Keep afloat.
Yes.
What is, in business, there are signature products that every brand carries. If you look at a brand like the Nigerian bottling company, Coca-Cola is their standout product, you know. For Jeweltec, what is your standout product?
For me, I'm looking at the Mercedes-Benz brand.
The Mercedes-Benz brand.
You know, I don't want to make a lot of noise. I want my product to speak for me. I don't believe in, for example, you don't see Mercedes adverts all everywhere.
Not at all.
You see, but people that appreciate Mercedes always go for Mercedes. And that's the kind of brand image I want to create. I don't want to go on air making all the noise and all that. I want to build my brand brick by brick and make sure that in the next 20 years, I should be able to be a kind of Mercedes-Benz in the jewelry industry.
A renowned, reputed jeweler.
Jeweler.
So, what particular jewelry or product gives you so much satisfaction when you pick it up and look at it like, I made this? Which one gives you that feeling?
You know, for now, my niche basically is on our traditional jewelries that we use for our Etibo, Woko, and Dawn studs. Then I also focus my attention on the traditional female jewelries that they use for their traditional occasions like marriage ceremonies, child dedications, tying of wrappers. There's this design we call the gold bead. It's made of a 3-step gold necklace. It's like a
Okay.
bead. It's all designed in gold, but we call it gold bead.
Okay.
It's unique, and it brings out the glamour in a woman. You know,
Wow.
so in those days, our models used to have them in their boxes, but because of time now, it's a tedious job.
Process.
It takes a lot of for you to do it's 3-step gold bead. It takes you almost 3 months to work of continuous labor. You know, so a lot of people are not really
Into it.
into it, and
Even the cost.
it's not cheap. It's really not cheap. So, but I'm trying to recreate that brand of product, you know, because some of our ladies now, they are in the motherhood stage. Now,
Yes.
their mothers had it in their boxes, but their mothers, they are not the only daughters of their
The
mother.
mothers.
So
Who's going to inherit it?
so it's not their own. So I am trying to recreate that product so that they, in their motherhood, can also own that product and also leave it for their children.
Wow, 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 that's so lovely. So, who's been your biggest inspiration? Are there international brand characters, names, or even within the Nigerian industry? Who's been your biggest inspiration, whether in jewelry or in business?
Yeah. For me, I'm a reader. I read a lot.
Oh, lovely.
I read a lot of motivational writings, you know, Brian Tracy, Robert Kiyosaki, Napoleon Hill, and all the rest. They have all been my inspiration in terms of motivation and how to move ahead in life. But for the jewelry industry, while growing up, there is this Goldsmith, Eremie in town. He was like a kind of mentor. I look at him more like a mentor in the industry. And unfortunately, he's late now. He's the Chief Eremie is late. And he was my kind of pool I was looking up to.
Okay.
You know, and I think I've reached that standard. Now I'm putting my eye on an international brand.
Okay.
There is a Nigerian. He's known, Chris Air.
Oh, Chris Air,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. You know, I have been following for a long time. I've admired his work. I've admired what he's been able to achieve in the jewelry industry. And I've set my eyes on that stage, you know, being on the world stage. You know, when I see his products, when I see his brand, you know, I aim to be like him, you know.
Wow.
I'm working on that regard, you know. Let me digress a little. I wanted to train myself in the jewelry act abroad.
Okay.
You know, while growing up, it was what really inspired me into the trade, actually, because when in 1996, I said I would like to go to London to study jewelry act. But I said, if I have to go to London, I should have a skill set to work with. So that was why I went into apprenticeship, so that I can develop a skill set. So if I go to London, I will not just go there as an empty man. But unfortunately, I couldn't achieve that goal.
Okay.
You understand? And I've been trying with the government to see if they could give me a train-the-trainer scholarship.
Okay.
You know, but unfortunately, it didn't come true. Since from the Odiri administration, I've been writing letters, letters about letters, but unfortunately, I didn't get any response from the government. Umeya was about giving me the scholarship. I sent him a letter. He invited me. His commissioner invited me. I discussed. He was impressed with my presentation, and there was promise that I'll get the scholarship. But unfortunately,
This
it didn't
government
stay long.
was short-lived.
So Amici came on board. I sent more than 7 DHS letters, applied in so many forums, RSSDA, all. But unfortunately, they have a provision for my industry. But I'm not giving up. It's not late. It's
Not
a
at all.
capital-intensive project, but I intend to self-sponsor myself and still go on that training. I'm building myself gradually so that if not for the COVID and all that is coming up.
Yeah.
But I know that I'll build myself to the capacity where I can engage in that art and become a world-renowned goldsmith, you know, with all the qualifications that are essential for me to move forward in the industry.
You know, from what you have just said, I want to believe that training yourself further abroad, especially with the right persons, the right materials, right equipment, is very possible. The world is a global village, and with our connections with some of our BBC counterparts and all that, we could do one or two things, talk to other people, put out your products out there. Because one thing is, how visible are the products? Visibility is one thing, because you don't know, the world is a global space right now. And if you're out there and people get to see you, someone talks to someone, someone tells someone, before you know, you could be invited. And then the scholarship you're hustling for here will just come and then you'll be like, hello, Nigerians, I'll see you in a few years. Let me go get better.
Very
You know,
true.
it's wonderful. I'll ask you another one, but a very, a question that comes from your level of experience. Now you have achieved the mark initially where you set yourself from the beginning. If you, what is that one thing that if you can go back in time, you know, before you started, you would love to change?
Change or not, I'm comfortable where what I've been able to do. You see, what I'm doing right now is creating a system where no system exists.
Okay.
You know, the industry I am in has no system. There's no production system. There's no administrative system. I'm like on a path on my own. I'm a pioneer in this sector. I am creating systems. I have production systems that I'm creating. I have work schedules. I have material requisitions and all other activities. I keep record of everything I do. I keep record of even my transactional activities. For me, I have a personal habit. I'm in control of my finances in the sense that I have record of every money I have spent for the past 5 years,
Wow.
even up to pure water. I have
Really?
a habit. Before I sleep at night, I take stock of my accounts. What came in, what I expended, what's the balance forward. Because I have a background in accounting.
Okay.
You know, I have a diploma in accounting, and I'm good in accounting. Well, I might say it runs in my gene because my father was an accountant. You know, so I have that this thing. So I'm practicing it day by day. It's a habit, and I've inculcated that habit even in my business.
Wow.
You know, so I'm saying that I wouldn't know what to change or what not to change, but I'm building something.
From nothing.
From nothing. So that's what is going on in my industry.
And essentially, those who are coming behind you would have a system to follow.
Yes.
So I'll ask now, are you open to training, you know, capacity building training other young persons? Because the society where we find ourselves today, a lot of young people have lost their way because there is no mentorship or focus or leaders to follow. The leaders we have in society today are just politicians who really basically have nothing to offer, you know. And so the young ones look up to these guys and they really have nothing to learn from them. Are you open to trying to share knowledge, to train people, to improve people? What areas, what plans do you have for the young ones?
I already have trainees in my workshop.
Oh, lovely.
And they're paid trainees. You know, I grew up from the apprenticeship system. And because of the challenges of our society today, young ones are not willing to learn the trade any longer because it's a tedious process. You're going to be an apprentice for 5 years, no pay. You're almost like working like a slave. You know, I developed occupational eczema for almost 3 years on my back because of the poor work environment. You know, and I do not want my workers to have that same experience. I have right now 2 trainees based on the capacity of my workshop. You know, I have a foreman that works with me. I trained him. He worked with me for 7 years, paid training. You know, and so far he has been promoted to be the production foreman. He's in charge of the production department. I have 2 trainees right now working with me. They are all on paid employment. You know, and when I started them, the passion they showed, I had to just up their salary a little so because to tell them I appreciate the passion you're putting in. You know, and as time goes on, I have the vision of creating a jewelry school. That's my end game. You know what I'm saying? So that I can train practitioners in the industry. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why I want this overseas training. I'm not just going to get a qualification. I'm also going to learn a curriculum.
Wow. All this whole package, how do you blend this with family management?
Well,
because you mentioned that you have 4 boys. You have madam by the side.
Very well.
And your business requires a lot of attention to detail. So how do you blend that with family?
I'm blessed. Well, I'm really blessed because I have an understanding wife.
Oh, lovely.
And I have a woman that believes in my vision and that tolerates my weakness.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I told her, your greatest rivalry will be my vision. Your greatest rivalry is my ambition. You understand what I'm saying? So, and God has blessed me with a woman that understands that we are on a journey. So she supports me on every step of the way.
Oh, lovely.
You know, we have come from nothing, and God has been faithful to us. And He knows that we are going somewhere, and she is willing to go the route with me. I also have children that are level-headed. For instance, my first son is in year 3, you know, and he worked with me for over 6 years. Because when he finished his secondary school, immediately he finished secondary school, I employed him. He was on paid employment, you know, and he worked with me from 16 to 20. He gained an admission.
Is that a succession plan?
Well, for me, for me, my business is my play.
Yes.
It's my life. You know, I want my children to be a part of this as well. You understand what I'm saying? Because I discovered that people couldn't leave their legacies to their next generation because they weren't training them in the act.
That's true.
They were only training them in the act of spending money, not creating wealth. You know, and I do not want to give my children that kind of this thing. I want my children to have functional education. My first one is doing accounting, you know, and he has a great idea of this industry. Right now, he also has his side hustle. He's also selling some costume jewelries.
Wow.
You know, and my second son also is doing software engineering.
Oh, lovely.
With NIT. And why the reason? I want him to take this to computerize the system. You understand what I'm saying? You know? But here, I don't force my children to do anything. I show them by my examples. Because I know that you plant seeds into their subconscious mind by your habits.
Yes.
You know, the kind of habits you develop day in, day out. They look at you and see you every day. You might think they're not learning, but it's there. When the time comes, they will call it forth and make use of it.
Wow.
So I don't believe in talk. I believe in just live. Live your life. Let them see you live how you want them to live. Set the example.
And they'll follow.
For instance, I read 1 hour every day. It's a routine.
Wow.
So I don't tell my children, go and read your book. If you come to my room in the morning, you see me, I'm reading. So it's up to
that
you.
should tell you that you should have time to read your book.
So,
wow.
So that's how I have a very supportive family.
You seem to have a very well-programmed lifestyle.
God's grace.
What's a typical day like for you?
Well,
because I'm sure it's not just all work.
Well, let me give you a typical day.
Yeah.
For instance, I wake up 4 a.m.
Okay.
I do my routine. I pray. I make my affirmations and my meditations. Then I read between 30 to 45 minutes. Then I leave my house by 5:30 for workout. I'll be on the road doing bricks walk for 2 hours, 30 minutes.
Wow.
You know, and I'll come back maybe between 7:30. I take my bath. I come to the office.
Wow. And after work, close of work, do you chill to unwind with friends?
I'm not a night guy.
Okay.
Because of my rigorous day's activities, I unwind.
Yes. What are you? What? You already look trim and okay. So what's the whole fitness thing about?
Well, for me, fitness is also part of my investment strategy. Because you can't make wealth without health.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So as you work towards building your wealth capacity, you must also work towards building your health capacity. You know, you must factor in fitness, wellness as part of your program towards wealth creation. You know, so for me, in about 2014, I set a goal for myself to walk around the world.
Oh.
Yeah.
And how far have you gone with that?
I'll give you the information. To walk around the world, I made a research on the net, and I discovered that it takes 20 million steps to walk around the world. So I set that goal upon myself that in 3 years I'll walk around the world. So in 2017, I did my first lap of walking around the world. And when I did that, achieved that goal in 2017, I said, why? Why not do it 5 times? Why not walk around the world 5 times? So I set a goal to walk around the world in 15 years, 5 times. That is 100,000 steps. And I'm on my 3rd lap now. I've done 2019 or thereabout. And I'm going to 2022 for the next 60,000 steps, 60 million steps. You know, and I have my pedometer always with me. It's almost like a second nature. So as areas, people know me in Port Harcourt as one of it. Anyway, you see me everywhere. I trek a lot, you know.
Wow.
Because I feel that most of us, especially here in this part of the world, look at working as the poor man's affair.
You get.
You know, and it's a minor, it's a very wrong perception. You see, how would you feel if an eagle mounts an aeroplane and is flying on an aeroplane?
That's
It's
stupidity.
unnatural.
It's not natural. It's
It's unnatural.
It's not called for.
Man was actually created to walk.
Walk.
You know what I'm saying? So, under your feet, every organ has a nerve. So, as you hit your feet on the floor, it massages every organ of your body. And walking is meditation.
Yes.
Because when you walk, you're all by yourself, with yourself. You can walk out with a problem and come back with a solution. So for me, especially the early morning walk sessions are beautiful moments. They are sacred moments for me. 5 a.m., the fresh air blowing on your face. No noise. You're just by yourself. And it's fantastic. Aside from that, I have a walk, school to walk. I have like 50 audiobooks in my phone. Okay. So if I'm walking, I'm listening to one book or the other. So over the years, I've listened to a lot of books.
Oh.
You understand? So it's like a whole school program in itself, you know. So while I'm walking, I'm going to school.
And then your body enjoys, your brain enjoys, everybody's working.
Perfect.
Wow.
And at the end of the walk session, I do a push-up session. And right now, I do straight power push-up 80%.
Wow.
You know, and all these keep me in that robust mood of wellness.
Wow.
Sorry, just an addition. I also have a fitness club as part of my hobby.
Okay.
You know, it's called Amadi Flat Fitness Club. I train those that are fitness enthusiasts like me.
Okay.
We provide a platform for ourselves to work out together. And we've been doing that for the past 5 years now. And it's been great fun.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. You see, this interview alone does not offer us, especially the viewers, an opportunity to really get to know you. A wonderful man, a man that is loaded with so much information. You see, how can we continue to follow you? How can we continue to live this dream with you? Because there's so much we need to learn from you. So tell us about Jeweltec, how we can follow Jeweltec, and how we can follow you personally.
Okay, well, Jeweltec is on social media.
Yeah.
I have a page, Jeweltec Goldsmiths and Jewelers Limited.
Okay.
Then I have an Instagram page, Jeweltec Afrique. Then I have a WhatsApp platform and all that, where I sample my products and also other things. Then for my fitness affair, we have a fitness club page, Amadi Flat Fitness Club, where we put forth our activities and all that.
Wow. It's been a wonderful and awesome time with you, Mr. Boma Cottrell, the CEO of Jeweltec, Goldsmiths and everything beautiful, accessories for royalty, not just for anyone. If you have a noble, if you have someone who's born into royalty, who is a royalty person, who is a chief, a king, go nowhere but visit Jeweltec. There you will get the best of studs, all accessories that you need to adorn your royal attire and then look great for the people. Thank you very much. It's been an awesome time with you, Mr. Boma. Thank you. God bless you.